Hola todos y bienvenido to episode 13 of the Voces en Vivo webinar series hosted by Circulo Castellano. I'm your host Akriti Kumari, and today we have a very special episode titled The Auxiliar Journey Anecdotes and Tips for Spanish Learners. And joining us today is Miss Tanishka Kumar. Tanishka is an English teacher in a high school in Spain, and she is here to share her incredible journey, her insights into the Spanish education system, and some real world tips for mastering the colloquial Spanish. Tanishka, thank you so much for joining us.
Gracias a ti. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Muchas gracias. I would, like to dive right into the questionnaire and not waste any more of your time. Starting with your journey, Tanishka, you grew up in Delhi and studied at the University of Delhi. And so, what initially, sparked your passion for the Spanish language? And how did that lead you to pack your bags and move to Spain as an auxiliar de conversation in 2023?
Oh, thank you so much for your wonderful question, Akriti. Um, of course, growing up in Delhi, living the urban life, having the dream to go to Delhi University like every other student in the world, in India. It was all going great. My job was going great. However, I had some contact with Spanish because while I was not admitted to University of Delhi. I just for a few months I was in the summer course of Instituto Cervantes. So I had some idea about Spanish because I had a huge crush on Enrique Iglesias. So I decided, oh, I should learn some lyrics. That was all. But later, when I realized that my passion and my purpose in life is very ingrained into teaching, my friend, who is a Spanish teacher in a high school in Delhi, she told me, your English is so great. You could go to Spain to teach English. Then you can be also a teacher, as all you always wanted. And then in the next academic course, of course, I prepared everything. I spoke to people, and I have had a lot of help from other people because, of course, people are very kind. And that's when I decided, okay, I want to teach. I would like to see Spain. It'll be a great experience for 8 months because the auxiliar program is supposed to be for 8 months in the academic year. And I decided, okay, I can do this. And however, my 8 months turned into 3 years, and I don't think I'm leaving. I love my town. I love all my students. I'm very happy here with everybody.
Thank you so much. That was a really incredible, inspiring story, to be truly honest. And I believe, I have had so many of people on this webinar that have the same kind of experience where they say that Spanish was something that they just came into, sort of maybe through music, through just accident, something that just happened to them, and now they're at so great positions in their career. And same for you, I believe music was something that led to you to your calling and your career. And I think it's the same for Saurav, right? I think he also came into Spanish and everything because of music. Only music was the one that brought him here also. Am I correct, Saurav?
Yes, you're totally correct. I did my A to level till my A to level only with songs.
That's
Wow.
amazing. Honestly, I believe that this is something cheat sheet for students who are like, trying to learn new language, that, yeah, listen to music. You will get some kind of inspiration. You will get the
Sure.
calling that maybe you are waiting for. And yeah, now coming back to you, Tanishka, thank you so much for sharing that incredible and inspiring story with us. Now, moving on to my next question, since we all know that as a student coming from India, then moving to an international, moving to a different country as an international student is very hard. And you went from bustling global metropolis to small town to 2,000 kilometers away, 200 kilometers away from Madrid. So, like, could you share a memorable anecdote or a cultural shock moment that highlights what that transition was really like during your first few months?
The culture shock, with the very basic one, I would say is India is highly vegetarian. My mom's a vegetarian. I'm not. And in Spain, they start their day from jamon, which is pork. So that was one thing that they are highly interested in their diet. They have included seafood, a lot of pork and jamon, ham, all of that. That was one part, but I adapted to it very nicely. I'm very Spanish right now. I eat everything every day. Another was, which is really funny, and I really enjoy telling it, is a very Indian context. That one day I was in the class and we were doing this New Year's resolution class in English. I told them, "Oh, what are you grateful for last year?" Everybody has to share two or three stories, two or three points. And one of the girls in my class, who was I think in eighth or ninth standard, she said, I am grateful for last year because my parents got married last year."
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the Indian brain, I was like, what? Your
Yeah.
parents got married in front of you? How is that happening? Then I dove into it more, and I realized a lot of people around me right now, a lot of my friends who are in their 50s, who have children together, homes together, but they are not legally married. In India, the arranged marriage or love marriage, whatever, it comes first, and then comes the children, then comes everything. But here they have flipped the script a little bit. So I know a lot of people who have children, but they're not legally married, and they're very. It's not like they're going to break off or something. There's everybody's in love, but still with the idea of a lot of freedom, they can walk away if they want to.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree with both of your points because for me also it was a quite a cultural shock when I moved here to Denmark. And the vegetarian part is something that I'm still struggling with because unfortunately I haven't been able to turn non-vegetarian at all. So this is something that so now the only options to eat are either potatoes or onions, and maybe once or twice in a month some kind of other vegetable if I can find it. So that's something that's very hard to
Oh my god.
cope up with. Yeah. So this is something that I really agree with you. And obviously the culture part is something that was I hear seeing from, like, I believe that if as a student, if somebody is watching this video and if they want to move to an international country and coming from to a different country as an international student, or even as job, want to do some kind of job in a different country, I do believe that we definitely need to stop seeing things from our Indian lenses, because then it can be quite judgy. I have seen
Yeah.
this with my yeah, with my experience as well. I believe that it must have same thing must have happened to you as well, and then you just stop seeing it from the Indian lens and started seeing it from the Spanish lens.
I agree with you 100%. That's what we have to do. And about changing lenses, we have to be always open minded in
Yeah.
whatever comes our way. If we are not open minded, if we are conformists, we should just stay back. I mean, if I'm
Yeah.
going to find chole bhature or pav bhaji in Spain, that's stupid of me. I
Yeah.
have to adapt to what's available to me. Otherwise, how will I survive? So, change is the only constant.
Yeah, that's very true. And honestly, I have had some of the, Spanish and Mexican dishes, and I believe they are quite tasty and interesting as well. So, and healthy, because we
Yeah,
Indians, yeah. So why not? I mean, I believe that we Indians do eat a lot of unhealthy stuff because since we cook a lot of things, so a lot of vitamins, minerals, or whatever you say, gets like lost in between. But yeah, so I think, yeah, but it's just, I think our international student opinion saying this and just trying to make everything positive and being optimistic. But yeah, definitely this is
yeah.
something that, yeah, true, this is something that everybody can take away from this conversation, that change the lens and, yeah, be as open minded as possible when going to a new country, because that is the only way when a person can be able to will be able to receive all the new things, and will be able to be happy in a different country, in a different culture, and not just be sad about living away from home. And yeah, since I do not want to derail too much from the topic, but yeah, let's start with another thing that I really wanted to ask. when you talk about as your teaching as your passion, and since it's your daily life now as someone who is a teacher, and since you are so passionate about it as well, and now you are in your third academic year teaching English at a Spanish high school. So what are the most striking differences, that you were able to see between the education system in Spain and what you experience in India as a teacher and as a student?
Um, First was uniform. They don't have any uniform, and in summers you can find teachers in shorts or dresses coming to school, or students who are coming in crop tops. So that was very interesting to see at first. Now, of course, it doesn't surprise me at all. But in the beginning, I was like, okay, there's a girl in a crop top. Does the teacher know?
Mhm.
um, that's one thing, that they're very liberal in their ways. They call their teachers by their name. So the teacher is Carmen, Pedro. Even if the teacher is 60 years old, they are going to call their name. And in India, we have sir, ma'am, or we use their surname, Mrs. Kumar, Mrs. Kapoor. So we are not supposed to do that. I mean, they're very friendly with their teachers, and that's what I find really interesting. So they're not scared of their teachers. So there are a lot of times where students come with their problems to the teacher, and a lot of mental illnesses or other problems that students are going through, we are able to catch them here, because they're not scared that we will get scolding, you know. And of course, there is no way the teacher can shout at them. There is no way a teacher can say anything bad, because there will be consequences, of course. In India, we would go to the parent teacher meeting, and the teacher and the parents would be like, ma'am, aap isko maro na.
True.
So there was, I mean, in India we were kind of scared from the vice principal, from the teacher, from everybody here. It doesn't work like that.
That
You
is
know,
actually
even
very
in
true.
my even in my experience as well, as we have had 2 years with native teachers. So the first teacher was Ruben. So as you were not much more familiarized with the, like, how to address them. So I was like sometimes Ruben, sometimes sir, and it was just normal for me. So after that, in my final year, we had a teacher named Leticia, whom we had a session of OSS and VO as well. So I met her outside the classroom first of all in Instituto Cervantes, and there we don't call anyone with ma'am or sir. So starting with Leticia, so calling her by name and addressing her in the two form, it was very normal for me. And even in the class, everybody is like ma'am, ma'am, and I'm like by the name, and I feel a bit like, different, that okay, I'm the one who's taking the name. Why is not anyone else? And I was like, okay, I'm understanding the culture now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. That is actually very true. I believe that this is something that is highly, differentiated and put emphasis on, because in India we have a lot of what do you say, hierarchical culture, that I can say, where like the person who is the head is supposed to be, given the respect and all the thing, and you have to call him by ma'am, sir. You cannot call the person by their name. And if a person is your classmate, or is on the same level as you, then only you can call them by their name. But I think it's very different in foreign countries, I believe, specifically I believe here in Denmark, also in Spain, where we have like there's no hierarchical culture, so there's no ma'am, sir. And if we have to say, call a person by their name, or like too much respect than just by their last name, so by Mr. last name and something like that. So yeah, this is something that is very different, and obviously the punishment and the culture and yeah, so much. The school and the education system is also like completely opposite of both. Like in India is completely opposite, in Europe is something is very different. So this is something that is a culture shock that I truly agree with you, for an Indian student to come and see here firsthand, specifically you being on the receiving end as well as on the giving end of both of these, because you were a student also, then you were a teacher also. So this is something that is actually very different. And yeah, now talking about your journey in Spanish, because we all know how theoretical Spanish and practical Spanish is different. So you must have had a lot of difficulty, because learning Spanish in India, and even if one person is very much fluent in it, but then actually going to the different to that country, to Spain, and having hearing all the locals speaking it, and with their own accents and with their own tones, it must have been very different. So I wanted to ask, like, how different was your journey in that? Like, for you, how different was the textbook Spanish that you learned in India, and now the Spanish that you heard from the locals in Spain?
Well, when I was learning Spanish, it was just about the textbook, do the exam, a typical student, the way a student thinks. I was in Instituto Cervantes, just like Saurabh. I gave the Delhi A2, just like Saurabh, and I failed it. However, I still got through the auxiliary program and I came to Spain. And in the beginning, I was a little worried. How am I going to speak? I used to use the Google Translator, but because I landed in a very small town, there was no other way from for me. Just listen to the language and try to understand what are they saying, because here nobody is going to speak with me in English because it's a very small town. They have no idea about English. It's English is just a subject in school for them. There is You can't find anybody on the street who will be like, oh yes, I know a little bit of English. There is no way that could happen to me, and that's what exactly happened. I was in such a cornered situation that I had to learn the language, and of course I like speaking, as you have figured by now. So I made a lot of friends. I now I speak with them all the time, and now my brain is that I think in Spanish, and sometimes I am translating from Spanish to English. Oh my god, how can I say this expression better in English? Or when I'm talking with my friends in India in Hindi, इसको इसको और अच्छे से हिंदी में और कैसे बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि my brain is the word is coming to me in Spanish because I think and I live here every day in Spanish. So yeah, textbook Spanish is one thing, and speaking Spanish is another. Of course, the problem which we will always have, which I think a Bengali person would have in Hindi, is that they have a lot of feminine and masculine. So for me, for the first year, it was la problema, and it's not la problema; it's el problema. Problema is masculine. I had no idea.
That's very true. And honestly, I believe that you are at the stage where you have had learned Spanish a lot. You have the Spanish expertise, where we can definitely say that, because thinking in Spanish and then translating it into English and Hindi is something that everybody wants to achieve, because when we are learning a foreign language, so this is something that you have definitely achieved. And yeah, thank you so much for being here and for inspiring a lot of students who are on this journey, and want to learn Spanish. And yeah, as you just mentioned, it is very true, where in India, because I believe that we focus a lot on books and textbooks. So that is something that I completely agree with you, that after going to that country and seeing those, yeah, we definitely start trying, and then go with it, and then know the language. But yeah, definitely that is
Yeah,
something
I
that,
mean,
yeah.
this happens with you in Denmark as well. Now you listen to
Mhm.
Danish every day and now you understand what they're trying to tell you, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah, definitely. I believe that the first day when I came here, I couldn't understand one thing, and now at least I can get through the basics. So at least I know, okay, so these are the things that could happen, and yeah, so yeah, for now, I believe that I have the basics in hand, and I can understand a little bit, at least from the assumption and all of that, because you start assuming, you start seeing the expression and how people are seeing,
It's
and from that,
contextual.
yeah,
it
yeah,
it starts with the context. Okay, I'm in a
yeah.
supermarket, what possible words they can tell me? Oh, I
Mhm.
am in the train station. So it just, your brain starts working like that. I mean, it's a very beautiful thing. That's what I
Yeah.
try to tell my students here in Spain, because now they are not in an English speaking environment. I am their only contact. So I tell them, when you look at my face, start thinking in English. When you look at my face, start thinking in English, so that all your vocabulary comes in.
Yeah. That is very awesome, and I do be can see and also believe that you are a very wonderful teacher, and the students are very lucky to have you. And
Oh,
yeah, now now moving forward with another of our very interesting questions that we thought that we definitely need to ask you this because here at Spanish Circle, we believe that we need to give our audience and our members some real world vocabulary because we are trying to teach as well as increase awareness about the Spanish language and the Hispanic culture. So, talking about a little bit of vocabulary and sharing it, are the best person for that. So, like, could you share maybe a couple of your favorite Spanish expressions that we definitely wouldn't find in a standard dictionary, and that a person can only find after living in Spain and yeah, after like actually experiencing it.
okay. So here in Spain, I think they're very validating people. When you come and you talk to Spanish people, even if you enter a supermarket or you just go to a local shop, they will say you, "Hola guapa, hola guapo, que dices hermoso, hermosa," which is like handsome, beautiful. So just like walking, talking, they will say words like you, like "adios guapa," like "bye guapa," "bye beautiful," and you'll be like, "Wow." This is nice. I feel you feel very seen and validated. So it's one thing they just don't say hola. They say something around that. Hola guapo, hola guapa, hola hermoso, hola hermosa. Apart from that, this happened with me. So because I was in the textbook Spanish in my first year, I learned the names of the family members. For example, hermano, hermana, tío, uncle, aunt. Tío, tía is uncle and aunt. So one day in the staff room of my school, two teachers were talking with each other. He was a guy and a girl, very young, and the girl said, "Pero tío," like but tío, and I'm like, "Tío, is he your uncle? I had no idea." And then she said, "No, it's not like he's my uncle. Tío and tia is like जैसे हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं यार, अबे यार, पर यार ऐसे थोड़ी होता है." So the word यार which we use to say बहन क्या कर रही है, they have taken it in Tio and Tia, not saying that you are my uncle and aunt, but the way to say yaar for them is Tio and Tia, which is very local.
I completely understand that and definitely love those things that you just mentioned. I mean, this is something that I even sort of I would love to take away from. Am I correct? Yeah, I believe that he might not also have known about
Uh,
that.
well, well, I would say in the class we usually do that. Oy, tío, ¿qué tal? Oh, tío. We
Exactly.
even say like,
Mhm.
que padre, oi, oi, like that, oi, oi. We do say
Yeah,
that.
That's
exactly.
awesome.
Yeah, that's common
That's
nowadays. When you get into the culture, you just want to dive deeper into it, and you want to take as much as possible. And thank you so much for sharing that, Tanishka. Uh, um, um, por favor, continúa.
yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much to both of you. This has been such an amazing conversation till now. And yeah, moving forward with this, Tanishka, when you are talking about these vocabularies and moving to Spain, learning here, teaching here, I would want to know that, when you came here and you started understanding the regional accent, so, would you say that that helped you integrate more deeply into the town that you're living in now, and connect with your students more after you understood the regional accent, or was it the case before also, before understanding
No.
the things also?
No, before that wasn't the case because now I live in this town and it's been 3 years in the same town because as an auxiliar, everybody wants to change every year. I did not want to do that. It's this town is my hometown now. So I understand each festival they have. I understand what their town hall is doing, what government is doing here, who is who, because it's a small town, everybody is related to everybody some way. I like to gossip a lot because I'm a Delhiite. So I do the same here.
That's
And that's how I get connected. And whenever in English, in the classroom, I have to give them an example. I use a lot of their examples. For example, the festivities or the places in the town, so that they can imagine the English vocabulary with the place that they have seen and with the with the festival that I'm talking about, or to relate with me, imagine I'm a foreigner. They had no idea where India was because people tell me it's in Africa. Um, now there's an Indian girl and she's supposed to teach you the English every day. You have to listen to me every day. So I need to connect with the students as well on a personal level. So when they see me in all the festivals, they see me so integrated in the town. They don't find me as a foreigner. I'm not a foreign element for them. I'm just a person who is there with them in the town all the time.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
through that, I think I was able to crack the code. But my Spanish was horrible before I came here. Just so you know, I failed my exam.
Oh no, no, that's not honestly, and that's a quote that says that great people are always college dropouts, school dropouts, or have at least failed in one exam. So
Yeah.
that's that. So you are on your journey to become a great person. So you should be really happy with about that, and we are happy to have you here. So honestly, this has been such a great advice, and everything that you've said has been actually very informative. So I do have to say that you know a lot about Spanish and the journey that you're experiencing right now. But yeah, coming to the point that you just mentioned, that yeah, it is actually very true. And you just mentioned in the previous question also about context. So I do believe that this is something that's very important when even as a student and as a teacher, when we are communicating in a foreign language, that context, if we know the other person's context and what they are familiar with, what they could think of, then teaching the language or reading the language is something that gets very easy and very doable also. Then we start actually enjoying it rather than being confused all the time of not knowing what is going on and everything like that. Yeah, and then moving forward with that, thank you so much, Tanishka, for your wonderful advice. Now I would really love for you to give some tips for the students who might be listening to these videos. So like, what will be your top practical tip for a Spanish learner who feels stuck and want to improve their conversational skills more? Hello, Tanishka. I'm sorry, we are on mute.
Give me a second, Akriti. I think there's some problem, and she was left from the meeting so sudden.
Ah, that's okay.
Just a second. Yeah, she's back.
I'm so sorry.
It's completely
Yeah.
fine, Tanishka. It
Hey,
happens.
Tanishka.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Akriti, you were saying.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, definitely. No, no. I would repeat my question. So, I was asking, for students watching this video, what will be your best, top practical tip for a Spanish learner who might feel stuck and want to improve their conversational skills?
Well, my number one tip would be shadowing. So you can go on YouTube or a podcast. You just can listen to a music, songs. Of course, songs are a great way to do it, as Saurabh already mentioned. Uh, we can just open a video and listen to the way they are saying, the accent or the the carving of words that they are doing, their pronunciation. Just catch it and repeat it. So in your brain it would be like, oh, I have to speak like this, I have to shadow these words, and through that you will ultimately be improving your speaking, but at the same time you're listening. And those are the most important two aspects of learning a language. I mean, reading and writing is another thing. I don't write a formal email every day to anybody in Spanish or in English.
That is actually true, and that is actually a really good advice, I must say, because do believe that this is something that will be very helpful for both of us and for like all of us. Hearing this, even me, I'm trying to when learn a foreign language. I believe that this is something that I can follow, and like hearing the accent, what they're speaking, and get into the base of it. And yeah, as you just mentioned, we can do this and we can get a lot out of it. And yeah, moving on with that, you being there in Spain, and you went through the auxiliary program. So if a student is trying to do that as well, so what will be your biggest piece of advice for them who are planning to apply for this program, this year or next year?
Well, my advice is very simple. Make a list of documents and try to get all the documents and all the credentials, all the conditions that you require to become an auxiliar, get your interview done, and everything after that would be easy. You just have to get your visa, pack your bags, and come to Spain. So, my advice would be to have a good IELTS score, have a good reference letter, and all the other documents required. For example, we have the medical certificate or the police clearance certificate. So, you have to get them done in advance so that you're ready.
Awesome. That's all, amazing and incredible. So, if anybody is listening to this video and if they're applying for the auxiliary program this year or for next year, then do follow Tanishka's advice and you're good to go. And before we jump into the very famous and very exciting rapid fire round, Tanishka, I do have one last question for you from my side, and it is that throughout your journey and coming to Spain, studying in India, what is one thing, and like how has that changed you, this whole journey changed you and shaped you both personally and professionally? And yeah, like what is next, what is something that you are planning next to do? So what is one thing that decides everything?
Oh, well, your question is a two-part question. How
Yeah.
this has shaped me as a person. I think I have become a bigger of a non-vegetarian. And no, jokes apart, I think I have grown a lot as a person. I have become more independent. There is no family here. Nobody's coming to save me here. But I have still tried to make a family on my own, because right now, if something were to happen to me, I know there are people in this town who are going to come for me. I think it's the same for you in Denmark. Your uncle is not there or your mom is not there. You are on your own. And as women, we are very, very, very happy because it's so safe.
Yeah, true,
It
agree
still
to that.
shocks me that at 3 a.m. I can come back home and nothing will happen to me. And born in Delhi, I know that's impossible for me to do that in
Amen.
Delhi.
Yeah, amen
So
to
it
that.
has
True.
it has made me more liberal, more feminist, and more independent. And to answer
Definitely.
the next part of your question, what's next for me? If it were in my hands, I would live in this small town forever, because I feel I have some soul connection with this town, that from all the places in the world, God chose me to send to be here. I have no idea how to explain that. But yeah, my next plan is very clear. I have figured out the purpose of my life. I'll be a teacher forever. Just like Saurabh's teacher, Sonia Gupta ma'am, he mentioned her before. Very inspiring.
Yeah, that is very amazing to know and very inspiring, to be truly honest. I wish you all the very best in your journey, and very, very much. I do believe that all the best of luck, and I do believe that you will be a great teacher. You are a great teacher and will be a great teacher in the future also. And yeah, so this marks the end of my conversation with you. And now I will hand over to Sora for the very amazing and fun Spanish rapid fire round.
Thank you, Akriti.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Akriti, for this lovely conversation. I have captured a lot of insights and surely will be using in my own journey as well. And thank you so much, Tanishka, for all those insights. Well, yeah. Quickly moving to the rapid fire round. Adelantemos. Déjame transformar mi modo en español.
Muy bien.
Ok, está aquí. Bueno, empezamos cuando está lista. Bueno, no deberías pensar más. Solamente la primera cosa que viene a tu mente es la respuesta.
De
Recuerda.
acuerdo.
Bueno, empezamos cuando estás listo. ¿Estás listo?
Estoy lista. Venga.
Bueno, empezamos. Ahora tiro la primera pregunta. ¿Playa o montaña?
Playa,
¿Tapas o paella?
paella,
¿Tu palabra favorita en español?
pasante.
¿Pasante? ¿Qué significa?
Pasante, pasante es una palabra local en mi pueblo que decimos
Ujú.
que eres muy cotilla, you're a gossip. Y me
Ah,
gusta
ok.
pasantear mucho.
Ujú.
Soy de Nueva Delhi,
Ok.
hombre.
Ah, well, no quiero dar mis comentarios ahorita. Bueno,
No pasa nada.
bueno, ¿verano en España o invierno en Nueva Delhi?
Verano.
Ah, no me diga verano. Ay,
Verano en España.
mm, es-
Aquí tenemos tinto de
sí,
verano.
verano en
Bebemos mucho
España
aquí.
es ok, pero sí, pero la palabra verano
Verano en
me da
España.
flojera,
Que aquí bebemos
totalmente,
mucho.
porque ahorita estoy en Nueva Delhi, ¿no?
No, porque aquí en verano en
Bueno,
España bebemos mucho. ¿Me escuchas?
hello.
Sí,
Ah, sí, sí, sí,
sí,
un
muy bien.
poquito. Sí, tu café con leche o um, algo como té.
Café con leche muy calentico.
Ah, ok, ok. Bueno, la ciudad más bonita en España que has visitado. No me digas
Eh,
tu
he-
pueblo, Aurel.
no,
No
no,
me
no,
digas
no
tu
voy a
pueblo.
decir mi pueblo. He visitado cuatro, no, 5 veces. He visitado 5 veces a Granada, en Andalucía, Granada.
Ah, Granada. Una ciudad muy rica en la cultura. Quería
Muy
hacerlo,
bonita.
quería visitarlo. Por
Es
supuesto,
como
visitaré
Jaipur
cuando iré a España. Sí. Bueno, um, un plato español que no te gusta para nada.
o recas de cerdo. No me
Um,
gusta.
um, ¿Podría repetirlo?
Orejas, orejas de cerdo, orejas. Pig ears.
Um, Perdóname, quiero que creo que mi internet no funciona bien. ¿Podría repetirlos su respuesta?
Akriti, can you hear me?
Ahora, espero.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. I think it must be a problem on his
Ya,
side.
no, es posible con mi internet.
Mm.
Ah,
Sí.
vale. Pues tú me escuchas bien, ¿no? Está.
Ah,
Ahora sí,
bueno, sí, 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 perfecto. Bueno, repetiré a mi pregunta.
vale.
Un plato español que no te gusta para nada.
No me gustan las orejas de cerdo, las orejas de cerdo que
Ah,
comen aquí. No me
mm,
gusta.
no puedo pensarlo.
Claro, y a Kriti
No, no,
tampoco, que es
me
vegetariana.
imagino. Sí, ella es vegetariana,
Pobre.
pues todavía. Ok. Bueno, ¿Madrid o Barcelona?
Madrid.
Madrid. Bueno, me encanta Barcelona por Gaudí, la
Por Gaudí
arquitectura.
sí, pero
Ok.
Madrid es más
Bueno, ¿tu
señoral.
fiesta local favorita en España?
Semana Santa.
Ah, la Semana Santa. Mm,
Sí,
Fiestas, comida, todo en un lugar. Por supuesto, ¿por qué no? Ah, no sé, mi conexión no está bien, perdóname.
no pasa nada.
Ah, he dicho comida, fiesta en un lugar, todo bien, ¿no? La Semana Santa.
Sí, 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 sí. Mi fiesta favorita es Semana Santa. O los Reyes, los dos.
Bueno, leer un libro en español o ver una serie española.
Ninguno. Bollywood. I like Bollywood.
A mí también me encanta el Bollywood. Y también Tollywood.
Los dos.
Bueno, la siesta. Las siestas, mito o realidad en tu pueblo. Bueno, creo que es
Es la verdad.
realidad, ¿no?
Es la verdad. Es la verdad.
Sí.
Aquí, 3 horas por la tarde, no están abiertas las tiendas, no puede comer en ningún
Ah,
lado, todo el mundo está en su casa, es la verdad.
bueno, un, un lugar de paz.
Sí,
Una costumbre española que has adaptado. Bueno, has adaptado totalmente en España. Bueno, una cosa
bueno,
única.
siempre tengo vino, queso y jamón en mi casa.
Ah, yeah.
Siempre.
Una cosa que extrañas mucho de India.
Comida, hoy, food, very important. Delhi food is very delicious.
Indeed, Akriti, you are on the same page, right? You miss the
Definitely.
food.
Oh my
Definitely.
God. They have no idea what is Golgappa like. They will never know it.
And I
The
guess,
essence of life. That is it.
Oh
well,
God.
at this point, I'm really sorry, guys. I just had golgappas when I was coming back. Yeah.
Oh, I can cry right now.
Cruel.
Okay. Okay. Bueno, acabamos con la última. ¿Describirías tu experiencia en España en una sola palabra?
Phenomenal.
Siempre. Ya que con el lenguaje es también mi experiencia fenomenal. De acuerdo de ti,
Phenomenal.
Tanisha. Muchísimas gracias por esta sesión, la ronda de Rapid Fire. Eh, Now, I'll
Muchas
pass it to
gracias.
back to Akriti. A
Muchísimas
ti, a ti.
gracias, Saurav, and muchísimas gracias, Tanishka. Thank you so much for sharing your tips, incredible advice, and expertise here today. I do believe that this has helped the audience a lot, and we are very much grateful for you for giving us your time and for talking to us and for sharing your amazing experience with us. And to everyone tuning in and watching, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for joining in. Nos vemos pronto. Buenas noches. Ciao.
Buenas
Bye. Thank you
noches.
so
Bye.
much.
Ciao. Thank
Adios.
you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Adios.